This is lesson 2 for year 5, and we're thinking about, are zoos bad for animals? So just a quick recap, what is persuasive writing? Remember, it is a piece of writing that tries to convince or influence a reader to believe what you believe about a certain topic. It takes a position of for or against something. For meaning to agree, against meaning to disagree. So again, very quickly, what are the features of persuasive writing? I have a bit of a recap here. If you listened to lesson 1, we've talked about these in detail. So we're thinking about rhetorical questions, conjunctions to link ideas, emotive language, facts, alliteration, and the power of 3. One of the tools you can use for persuasive writing is Oreo. Now, I'm not talking about the biscuit, although the biscuit does often help us to remember it. This tool helps you to structure your argument and paragraphs if you're struggling. It focuses on 4 parts to your paragraph. Number 1, O, the opinion. State what you believe. In this case, if you are for or against zoos. Number 2, R, reason. Why do you feel this way? What makes you think this? Number 3, E, examples or explain. Use facts from the research you did hopefully in the last lesson to support your reason. And again, the O, still looking at our opinion. Reinstate, and sometimes quite forcefully, what you believe. So how Oreo would look like in a paragraph. Now you can see at the bottom, we've got our Oreo opinion, reason, examples, and again opinion. And I've color-coded the text to help you. Let's have a look and read through to see what this would look like. I firmly believe that we should have 3-day weekends. My reason for this is that a 3-day weekend would enable workers to properly unwind and spend quality time with their families. This would then improve their mental well-being, making them function better at work. In Denmark, they have trialled 3-day weekends and have found productivity at work to increase on the 4 remaining days. With evidence such as this, surely no one can argue that 3-day weekends are a bad idea. So as you can see, I've got my opinion at the top. I believe they should have 3-day weekends, and I've reinstated this at the bottom as my O. With evidence such as this, surely no one can argue that 3-day weekends are a bad idea. My reason in yellow, now you can see I've got 2 sentences here, so it shows that it doesn't just have to be 1 sentence. My reason for this is that a 3-day weekend would enable workers to properly unwind and spend quality time with their families. This would then improve their mental well-being, making them function better at work. And then my example, or my fact, in Denmark, they have trialled 3-day weekends and have found productivity at work to increase on the 4 remaining days. Now, what you can do with persuasive writing is almost do like a double-stuffed Oreo. An opinion, reason, explanation, another reason, another explanation, reinstate your opinion. Have a play around with the structure of Oreo, although I would say that your opinion should be both at the beginning and at the end. Nothing to say though that you can't reinstate your opinion in the middle, but this structure seems to help guide our writings. Have a think about Oreo in the back of your mind when you're creating your paragraphs. Okay, so I've got my model right here. Now you'll notice at the top it says model right in favour of zoos. Obviously it's up to you whether you decide to write in favour or against zoos. Wouldn't you want to protect endangered animals from being wiped off the face of the planet? There has been many discussions over the last 2 decades about the ethics of zoos. Some argue they are inhumane, whereas others hold the view that they are important to educate people about conservation and animal welfare. I am of the firm opinion that zoos are imperative to the preservation of many of Earth's species. Having seen the impact zoos have had on the conservation of endangered creatures, surely is reason enough. With the help of zoos all over the world, several threatened animals are still alive on this planet today. Consider the Amur leopard. There are only a handful of these big cats in the wild. However, thanks to the fantastic work of conservation breeding programs in zoos, there are now 200 more of this majestic creature. Surely, when faced with facts as extraordinary as this, only an animal hater would wish to close zoos, as this would see the extinction of several creatures. It is vital that zoos be open to allow this crucial, this important, and moreover, this life-saving work to continue. So now we're going to have a chance to use my model right to compare against the success criteria. Now the success criteria is in your packs. Rhetorical questions, paragraphs, emotive language, facts, and conjunctions. Now we know from our discussion of the features of persuasive writing, you could also challenge yourself to include alliteration as well as the power of 3. So let's hunt through my writing to see what I have met and what I could improve on. Remember, there's always room for approval. This isn't my best piece of writing. I worked hard on it, but I know that I could do better. And as you can see, this is just a very small section. I've got an introduction and 1 paragraph. Now I'm expecting about 4 to 5 paragraphs from you. An introduction, 2 to 3 main reasons, and a conclusion. So let's see how I've done. Now I'm going to start straight away and look at my paragraphs, and you can see my paragraphs, not including my first sentence, which is almost a bit like a title. Got my introduction paragraph there and my first paragraph. And as I said, this is just a small section of my writing. Now, just in the persuasive text I've shown you before, I've got my rhetorical question here at the start. Now, the reason for this is where I feel is the best place for a rhetorical question. It really hooks your reader in. It draws them into the reading, into the text. They want to read on, they want to discover more. I also feel when it comes to persuasive text, a rhetorical question can be really powerful at persuading your reader from the very start. Wouldn't you want to protect endangered animals from being wiped off the face of the planet? Well, surely anyone who cares about animals would say, yes, I do want to protect animals. So already I'm trying to persuade them to side with me, because then I'm going to show them through my paragraphs how zoos protect endangered animals. So I've tried to word my rhetorical question in a way that links with my writing, making it very cohesive. And that can really, really be powerful and punchy because your writing flows well. In my conclusion, I would probably write another rhetorical question just to really finish it in a powerful way. I might put 1 or 2 more in my paragraphs. However, I wouldn't put too many. The more conjunctions you use, the less powerful they become. They're best used scarcely, which means infrequently. Okay, let's hunt for some of my emotive language then. So let's see how I've met my emotive language. Now, there isn't much in my introduction paragraph except from this word, inhumane. Now, that is actually a negative bit of emotive language. However, I want to show that there are sides different to mine, and so I have used the word inhumane. If you're writing against zoos, this could be a perfect word to use within your writing. Preservation. It's quite emotive. It makes you think about protecting things, looking after things, saving things. Talking about creatures being endangered creatures, makes it feel like without zoos, they're at risk. Without zoos, they're threatened. Again, this is reinforced later in the text when I say, with the help of zoos all over the world, several threatened animals are still alive. Again, by describing them as threatened animals, I'm suggesting that without zoos, they're in an incredible amount of danger. They could be wiped off the face of the planet and become extinct. Now, I've got a lovely noun phrase here, the fantastic work. That, again, is a lovely bit of emotive language, because calling something a fantastic piece of work reinforces the good of it, really sells the positive side of it. So if I say zoos are doing fantastic work, it makes you feel good. It's suggesting that what they're doing is amazing and caring and wonderful. Slightly differently here, I've described a creature as majestic. Now, this doesn't suggest what zoos are doing. However, because it's still using that beautifully positive language, because I'm constantly almost using positive language in my writing, I'm reinforcing the positives to my reader. There is no, other than the word inhumane, there's no negative language as such seen in this text. And if there is negative language used, it's to reinforce what could happen if zoos weren't around. Now, describing my opponents as animal haters is really effective, because it suggests that I care for animals, which is why I have this view. And if you think zoos are bad, then maybe you're an animal hater because you want animals to die. And this is not necessarily the view I have of people that don't agree with zoos, but it's what I would use and write to really sell my point and to force my point through. To use that word extinction is really powerful, because we know extinction means basically wiped off the face of the planet, no longer existing. To threaten that this might happen if zoos were to close is really powerful. And then again, using a phrase, life-saving work, which we saw in our doctor persuasive writing, such really shows that, in my opinion, I'm saying that zoos save animals. They're protecting animals, they're looking after them, and without them, these animals are in danger. Okay, now I've only got one paragraph here, so I only really have one fact. But it's this: consider the Amur leopard. There are only a handful of these big cats in the wild. However, thanks to fantastic work of conservation breeding programs in zoos, whoopsie-daisy, we need to improve on this. In zoos, there are now 200 more of this majestic creature. Now, this fact works really nicely with what I'm saying in my paragraph. I'm saying that zoos are imperative, which means really important or vital, to the preservation of animals, and the fact that zoos look after endangered creatures. To back this up, I'm using an example of a creature that is endangered. However, thanks to breeding programs in zoos, there are more of this creature than there would have been. So this really backs up what I'm trying to write. And let's look for my conjunctions finally. Okay. So I've got this lovely conjunction whereas here. Now this one works so well because I'm showing two different sides, two different opinions. So I've got the for and the against. So it says some people argue that they are inhumane, whereas others hold the view that they are important. This is almost like saying on the other hand or however, showing contrasting opinions. Then I have this conjunction here, however. And I do believe I have some more, but I'm struggling to find them at the moment. Okay, so I've got my as here and an and. If you find any more for me, let me know. I felt like I had some more, but maybe this will be my next step to include some more. Obviously, this is only just 2 paragraphs, so I would have some further in my writing. And you can see I've used a variety. So I've got whereas, however, as, and. Now, I also have done something that wasn't in my success criteria, but it is something we have looked at. I've done the power of 3. This crucial, this important, and moreover, this life-saving. So that repetition of the word this, really hammering home and being persuasive. I hope you found this helpful. Remember, email your class teachers or talk to us on Microsoft Teams. Really looking forward to seeing what you write. Hope you enjoy our new topic of animals and in the jungle. And we miss you lots, and I hope you're keeping well.